Hi, it's Nell, and I'm in the back corner of my house with the Star Jasmine, gloves on, pruners in hand, because I am going to show you how I'm going to prune my Star Jasmine, and I'm going to also talk about pruning other Star Jasmines. And what I mean by other Star Jasmines is not other varieties of Star Jasmines or species of Star Jasmine, because this is Trachelospermum jasminoides. Does come in a variegated form, but that's it. But what I mean is pruning Star Jasmine over an arch, pruning Star Jasmine as a hedge, pruning Star Jasmine as a ground cover, and in a hanging basket. It's very forgiving as to pruning. You can prune it really, you can hedge it. I know someone who used to prune a Star Jasmine hedge with the hedge clippers, the electric hedge clippers. Not a look I'm crazy about, but when you have like feet and feet and feet of Star Jasmine, I guess that's the best way to keep it in check. And over an arbor, you can prune it pretty tight too. It's very forgiving when it comes to that. But what I want to do with this is I don't want to prune it into a chimney form or any sort of a really tight form, but I just want to get this off of this part of the plant, because what happens is when this is a twining plant, so if it doesn't have anything to grow onto, it'll just start to grow back onto itself. And this growth of it, this new growth here will eventually start to crowd out the old growth, and it'll start to die underneath. And I don't want that. And a very important thing to know is that the best time to prune Star Jasmine is after it flowers. Now this is almost through flowering. I could have done it like 2 or 3 weeks ago. I'm in Tucson, Arizona. It's June. Where you are, it might still be flowering in June, but here flowers a little bit earlier because I'm in the desert. So that is the best time to do it. And then if need be, you can also do a light pruning at the end of summer. But if you prune it too late, if you prune it into fall, it could mess with its spring flowering cycle thing that it's got going on. Actually, it starts to flower in the late winter here. So you don't want to prune it too late. So be sure to do it after it flowers. Okay, so I put my glasses on so I can see. It's about 6 o'clock at night, so it's a little bit late. It's been a long day. I just divided a ZZ plant into 3, so I'm exhausted. But I wanted to get a start on this. And I'm going to start down here and start to prune it up, because I just don't want to get on the ladder right now. And this plant is in sun quite a bit now, so I actually have to do this early in the morning or, at this time of the day. So I'm going to start right in, and I'm just going to start on this one here. And I'm not going to go too far or too crazy. Probably just go to about there. Do that, and then I can always take off some more if I want to. This one I'm going to take off up here. And when you prune Star Jasmine, there is a sap that comes out. It never has irritated me. So, but if you are sensitive to things, you might want to be careful with that. And I just moved into this house last year, so I don't even know if this has been pruned at all. And the whole time it's been in, I'm not quite sure. So, and as you can see, there's a lot more growth up here. Oops, you may not be able to see because I have the camera down there. There's not that much growth down here, but there's a lot up here. So I'm gonna loosen that, but I'm gonna start here. And I'm gonna do a little milder cutting here. Just a little bit to tip it. And that's a little bit of burn there because we're getting really hot in the desert. I did not plant this here, it was here. So I just try to work with it. Let's see, I think I want to leave quite a bit of this, so I'm just going to cut it off right there. Just like that. And you can use your judgment how you want your Star Jasmine to be, what you want it to do. As I said, I don't want this to be too rigid or too formal. So I'm just pruning it to sort of shape it and to rejuvenate it a bit. And just to show you, see how thin this is down here? And then how thick it is up there? So that's mainly what I want to do, is get rid of that thick growth up there. Just think of it as trying to thin out hair. Of course, I don't have that problem. I already have really thin hair, but you want to loosen up the weight is what you're basically trying to do. And I'm leaving a good portion of the growth on because I don't want it to look scalped, and I can do this at this time of year. And then I said, as I said, in a few months, if I want to go back and do a light pruning, I can do it then. And right here, it's all twining around itself. So I want to get rid of that because it's just a big blob. And when I get the ladder, I'll do some finer pruning up there, but I just want to get this out of the way for now. There we go. Okay. So it's probably going to look awkward for a while, but then all that new growth will come back in and it'll be beautiful. Oops. See, this has a lot of scrawny growth, so I think I'm going to cut it about there. Actually, I think I'll cut it about there. Yeah, that's better. You know, you can make like one cut and then you can go and make a cut further up, but it's better to take out a little less if you're unsure and then go in and take out more. So now that I'm sort of freeing the vines or freeing the stems, I'm finding a lot of this where things are twined, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that there for now anyway and see how it goes. And here's the other part of this that I'm going to cut right there. And I'm finding quite a few stems like these where there's just a little growth on the end and then it's almost all bare stems, so I'm cutting that out. I'm just playing with my cat Riley because he's down below playing with all the things I'm cutting. Oh, pruning is just for the the amusement of the cat. And here's my assistant Riley. Now Riley, it's time to clean up all the trimmings. Uh-oh, there's the wire with the wire from the microphone. Just fun for cats to play with. Oh my goodness, it's about 5:30 in the morning and the saris are open. They'll close up when the light hits them. You know, the sun comes, but boy, are they gorgeous. Huge, and they just smell so delightful. So before I get back to the pruning of the Star Jasmine, I just wanted to show you these. So this area up here is really very dense and very crowded and really twined. So it's going to take me a little while to go through it. But this is like what I'm cutting off here. But then this all kind of curls on itself. So cut off this. And then I'll cut off this right back here. And that is what I got off of there. I took off a little bit more there because it was pretty long. So And again, there's no growth on this whole stem going back to the main stem, so I'm just going to leave that and see what it does. Because sometimes if a plant is like this, you've got to work with it for a year or two to A, see what it's going to do, and B, do what you want it to do. Because we know plants are like people, they have a mind of their own sometimes. Take up a little more there. Okay. I'm also taking out as much of the dead inside as I can too. Actually, all of the dead. And these small pieces of side growth, I'm cutting about. I've already cut these. I'm going to cut that one just because I don't want them to get any taller than the roof. Okay, so I'm just chipping away here. I'm going to finish up over here, but it's nearing done. It doesn't look fabulous, but I have hopes for it in a year or two. I'm pretty much done for now because I don't want to scalp it. And as you can see, the sun is starting to come on it. And I left some on the sides because I want to encourage that. And it's just below the roof there. And it was really thick at the top, and it still is thicker at the top, but that's okay. But hopefully now with that heavy top growth gone, outer growth, it's going to fill in a little bit too. Down below and in the middle. But what a pruning like this does, besides encourage the flowering, it encourages that beautiful spring growth that comes on, that green growth that comes on, you know, in the winter or the spring. That's a very bright green. That's so pretty. So I expect to see a lot of that. Okay, so a quick recap. The best time to prune Star Jasmine is after it flowers. I started on this one. Whoops. Oops. Here I go into the cowstung euphorbia. That could be mildly painful. Started about here, just tipped it. Then I moved up here, and where there was the heavier growth, I really shortened the outer growth so that hopefully some inner growth will appear. I took out all the dead, and then there were some branches. My cat Oscar is here yapping away, so I'm going to get him in the video. And then there were some branches that were very long and woody, and they only had about 2 nodes of growth on them. So I took them out, and that's about it. And then I just tipped everything, and I will probably do it again at the end of the season. Just look at it. I may not need to prune it. I'm not quite sure. Now I'm going to compost, give it a good watering, and there's a blog post that is going to go along with this video, so be sure and check that out. It'll be in the description box down below. And I've also done a video about Star Jasmine care, which I will leave the link to that down below also. So now I'm going to clean up the mess before it gets too hot. I hope you have found this video to be helpful about pruning a Star Jasmine. I thank you for all your likes and your comments and your subscribes. I really appreciate them. I have a lot more videos coming your way. I have quite a few already filmed, and I'm going to San Diego, so I'm going to have some good succulent stuff coming up. So stay tuned for that. So now let's get out in the gardens. Our gardens, our beautiful gardens, any gardens, and make our world a more beautiful place. As always, I thank you so much for watching. Bye.